Hey y'all, welcome back to our channel. I'm Reagan.
I'm Renee, and this is What the Romance.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me no more.
Leo fucking Hernandez. North Boston University star running back, notorious bachelor, and number one on my people I would murder if I can get away with it list. And now, he's my roommate. I used to think I loved him, but that was before I hated him. He doesn't remember who I am, or how he made my life miserable for years. And before I unknowingly moved across the street from him, I couldn't have cared less. I was living my life, despite him and what happened that summer, chasing my dream of becoming a tattoo artist. The Pit, as the university so gracefully nicknamed the house he lives in with 3 other football players, has served as nothing more than a pain in my ass and a constant reminder of the boy who broke my heart. Watching him parade his one-night stands in and out of it never helped either. But with rent this cheap and so close to the tattoo shop, I've learned to ignore him. No matter how he's tried to get under my skin. At least until this summer. Because when a water and mold disaster leaves me with no choice but to vacate my house, I have nowhere to go. And Leo Hernandez offers me a deal I can't refuse. Live at the Pit with him and the guys, free of charge, until my landlord fixes this mess. Ignoring him was easy when I lived across the street, but in the same house, with him shirtless half the time and watching me with his cocky grin and searing gaze, it's impossible. Still, I have to try. I have to push him away, even when he makes it infuriatingly difficult to do so. He's broken my heart once. I won't let him do it again. Just gonna toss that over there.
Okay.
Woo. All right.
Okay.
Whoa.
She thick one. She a thick one. He a thick one.
He a thick one. For sure.
He a thick one. Woohoo! Lord have mercy.
Wow.
His schlongosaurus. I'm just kidding.
Oh my god. Hail Mary, the last book in the is it Red Zone?
Red Zone Rivals, yeah.
Red Zone Rivals. Leo fucking Hernandez. Ugh.
Lord have mercy on our souls and Mary's vagina.
Oh my god. I, for one, was so scared going into this book.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I did. And I got through it. Barely.
Took me yelling at you quite a bit, but it's okay.
You know what? It's just, that's where I relate to Gianna in this, is that these books are just my life at this point.
Well, the only reason why it scared you is because of how deep it cut me. Like, you physically saw me bawling my eyes out.
Yeah, I was scared.
Probably.
I didn't want to deal with what you were dealing with.
With whatever level you were on, I did not want to achieve.
I did not want that, but I failed miserably. It was very sad. I did shed a couple tears.
I think, even though there's like a big heartbreak in here, like it's like the biggest one, there was honestly so many little ones that like kind of like were tear jerkers, but like kind of made like shook you a little bit too. And it's kind of like, oh my God, like this is really like digging deep everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think
especially
that's what
in the
really
beginning.
like, yeah. And I think that's what really really sold me is like, oh my God, like this is starting out as like a beautiful story. And that's why I love, out of all of the books, I love this story as its whole story. Like Leo and Mary's story together as a whole. I love this story. Like obviously Quarterback Sneak is my go-to because of Holden. I love his story, like the ending and everything. But like as a whole, this is like number one.
Yeah,
The storytelling in this was beyond. Yeah,
I agree. Well, Clay and Gianna's story. I loved it. It was fun. It was flirty. It didn't
Okay.
break my heart as much as as this one did. This one was like mainly because
Like it breaks your heart because it's actually digging deep into actual like real feels like that are like real, like they're real. They're not just made up, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely as younger Mary, I saw myself more as younger Mary. Not so much as older Mary, because older Mary has that confidence and she's badass, but like as younger Mary, I definitely
You're
felt
younger Mary. You're younger high school Mary, and I'm like Mary 2.0.
exactly. We're Marys. We're Marys in this situation.
We're the two different kinds of Marys because they're two different kinds.
Yeah. But definitely with the like the beginning of the book. How she describes herself as like a loser, fat, pimple face, blah 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 blah. I definitely started tearing up at that point. I was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
I'm in for a ride. She sees herself as the ugly duckling.
Yeah, it was it really like set this book up for like it was like really good. It just set it up so well, and I'm like, oh my god, like this is starting out strong, really strong, and like I I was like, oh my god, how is this gonna turn out? Like, does he actually know it's her? Like he literally just doesn't, like, it's being completely oblivious to him for being a jock or whatever. Because like, you know, in your heart, like you're like, oh my god, okay, he told her to draw her something, so he should know.
Right, yeah.
And I think that's what scared me most. I'm like, God, Leo, don't do this. Don't be that guy. I'm like, please, Leo, don't do it. No, she wasn't ready.
No, yeah, you're right. Like,
but when it came back later on down the road, when it came back later down the road with him actually, like, when she, like, completely, like, basically ghosted him, he cried to his mom. I was like, oh my god. It's like, oh my god.
Stop it. Yeah,
stop,
like,
Leo, stop it.
That shit was sad when he was like, I cried for my mom. She set me a bath. And I was like, oh my god.
Like, he was in his, like, full heartbreak moment of high school. Yeah. I loved the nickname Stig. I love his nickname for her. Love it. The moment he said, hey, Stig, I'm like, stop it.
Not me crushing on little Leo.
Instant, like, I was literally like,
oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, no, it was beautiful storytelling. I don't know, like, she just rocked it with this last book.
She definitely went out with a bang with this one. Although I'm still sad, I'm still praying. She's got the little devil in her ear saying, you know, Kyle needs his little love.
Oh my god.
Poor boy. Poor boy.
Okay, first of all,
he has had a glow up though.
I did not like Kyle in book 1, 2, or 3. Well, not so much 3.
I'm so proud of him. I actually,
but book 4
so there was a lot more. There was a lot more of him in 3 than the other 2, of course, because he lived with Holden. But I liked him because I was like, this guy, he's just got something going on deep to where, like, you know, it's like his self-defense mechanism of why he's like this. I was like, there's something more to him, and he needs something. He needs love. Give me some Kyle love.
Loving. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I totally think that she should have made a Kyle book, only because of how he progressed from book 1 being
his character growth was great. The character growth was,
so many people will overlook that because it's not revolved around him, but you look deeper and
like if you're like a stone cold like Kandi reader and or any book reader, you look not only at the main characters but the side characters. Like me, obviously, I'm always the oddball one. You know, I love my side characters. I will give them all the love. If you give me that, I will give them the love. But but I'm always a big fan of the side characters because a lot of them, especially if they do stand out, like he has had such major growth, and I'm so proud of him.
Yep.
Especially in book 4, it was great.
Oh,
But
yes.
Another side characters is like obviously Holden's uncles. Love them to death. Can't get enough of them.
Uncles
Can't
for
get
the
enough of them.
fucking win. I loved them.
And then I was waiting for Leo's mom to show up. I was waiting for her.
Love her.
And then how she was like, oh, you're Mary. Like, loved it.
Oh, first of all, and I will always love the name Valentina. I think it's such a pretty name. And the way that they described her, put her name to it, I was like, yes, this is my version of a Valentina. An older version. I'm pretty sure she was more gorgeous, even more gorgeous when she was younger. So I really loved his mom. And it kind of gave me like a feel of my own mom in a way.
Right. There's actually a lot of character growth throughout all this, but obviously Kyle is like tops everything because I paid attention to
definitely.
So who knows? Maybe he will have his own little spin-off, just a standalone itself, or him and Brayden will have like their own little series. Yeah. But hopeful. We'll always still pray for that.
Like we always do.
Always. But I will say, when Leo took her back to the high school in the bleachers to give her a new and better perspective of that place, and just like that whole thing really was like super like the purest moment of Leo, like really stood out. And when she was like, I don't think my story will be as light as yours, and he's like, let me sit in the darkness with you. I literally like put my book down and I'm just like, oh my God.
Yes, I love it.
I can't.
It was, and I think this is why I have such a hard time, because like Clay is a monster.
Clay is Clay.
Clay is Clay. But then Leo comes in, and this kid has like a heart of fucking gold.
Through and through.
And I just want to like,
and like,
it's
you know,
so hard to pick a number one.
What really stood out too is like, you know, when it all was set in stone and like when it finally broke why she's been this way the entire time, and like why she hates him so much. And like he finally realizes it, and he's like, oh my God. He's like it was like literally a mind fuck for Leo.
Yeah, definitely.
And but I love how like it was like a revelation, but not as big of a heartbreak, but you know, like it was kind of like a
coming to the light. Like he saw it now. He's like, oh shit.
Like all the stars are aligning now.
Yes.
Basically, all of the stars are aligning now. Like it's her. It's always been her, but like she's been standing right there the whole time, and he didn't know, because obviously they didn't know who they were. Well, she knew who he was, but he didn't know who she was because of how they started through like Xbox Live. And just that whole moment of them outside the bar with all that stuff going on, I was just like, oh my God. Like this is, I felt like I was witnessing this, like sitting in my car, like seeing this like all go down, and I'm just like,
window barely cracked, y'all.
I know, it's like,
it's her. He didn't know.
Kiss her. I'm just kidding.
Go in for it. Honking your horn. Kiss her.
It's like the slow clap.
You're God bless America.
Yes. I love that. And also like, you know, the scene where she's playing Xbox, she's playing a video game, and he comes in and he's like, if you want me to play, you need to keep playing. And I'm like, okay. Not
All of their
me,
spicy
literally.
scenes were like,
Not me squirming in my chair the entire time.
I loved their spicy scenes. I loved them.
Yeah. And I love that it took so long for them to actually touch each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it took, how many pages did I tell you? It took to like chapter 24 or something like that, like 300 pages or something.
Yeah, it was a long way, but man,
the story was that good that it didn't matter how long it took for them to get to that point.
Yeah,
that's how good it was.
I was just so invested in the story that I wasn't even thinking like, oh God, when are they gonna touch each other? Like, when is it? I was just like,
right.
Oh my God, yes. Oh, spicy scene. Okay, keep going.
Like, oh shit, it's happening. Guys, it's happening.
Alert.
Touching is happening.
Yeah, no. Oh my God, this book.
And then, okay, him saying, this is the real thing, Stig. You and me, right here, right now, I want it. I want us. And I'm like, you got her, man. Go get her. Yeah. I mean, okay. There was points where like I'm just like so mad at Mary and I'm like, come on. I'm like, bitch, just love him already. Come on.
Do it. He's like, he's already proven himself. Just fucking go for it.
But I did love the girls' night out that she put in there with all the girls when she was like, it was like a bat signal. Loved it. And the whole thing with Gianna killed me. And, and she was like, nothing's better. She's like, nothing's better when you're drunk than Cheetos. And I'm just like, yes, bitch. Yes.
That's funny because that hot Cheetos are my go-to for when I'm hungover or drunk.
Same.
I'm just like,
Oh, when I'm drunk, I'm definitely chewing on some hot Cheetos or like the spicy Doritos are like my go-to.
I like how in the girls' night they all had their like their stressors that they were stressing about. Like Julep was stressing about like the game or the wedding and Holden and all that and finding a job. Riley was because, she was told she's not going to be able to get into the NFL. And then, of course, Mary's was because of Leo. And then you got Gianna out of the blue. Yeah, I haven't read a book in weeks.
Yeah, Gianna. You got Gianna's over there like, that's like the lowest of low. Like, I'm so stumped, guys. I can't pick up a book. Like, same. We know what that is like.
I so know when a book ruins you, you do not want to pick up another book and like it just ruins you.
Nobody understands the pain, okay? Only real ones know.
At that part, I freaking laughed so loud. I was like, oh my God, why is this me?
Fucking Gianna. Love her. Love her to death. I love her little like oh, I can't.
I fucking love G. She is amazing.
So, yes, I love this whole series. Everybody who hasn't read it, you are seriously missing out.
Oh, for sure.
Ugh. These men. I can't.
Where do I find them? Where can I get one?
Do they really exist? I'm just kidding.
They have to exist somewhere, and I ain't living in the right state to get them. Oh my God. But I don't want this.
I'm sad it's done, but I'm happy the way it ended.
Yeah, me too.
So
I like
even
how
though I read it like ass backwards, but it's
honestly, I like how in the end, like Clay and Kyle, Braden, and Leo, they all went on to the NFL, except for Zeke, because he stayed back. He stood
by his
Riley.
woman.
Yes, I absolutely freaking loved it.
I do too. But just like, it's so sad because the way Kandi wrote this, it's like, it's so true because it's so sad that there are women out there who would be really good at what they do because they love being in football. Like I
Exactly.
met a couple football players that were women, that were girls. And
Mhm.
it's sad because they don't have anything past college.
Yeah.
It's sad. It is sad. And I feel like I'm waiting, and I'm sure everybody else is waiting for the day that something like that changes. And when it happens, man, is it going to be like big news.
Yeah.
Plot twist, the actual person who comes up, her first name is Riley.
That would be dope.
That would be so sick.
That would be so dope.
Not Kandi predicting the future over here or not.
I know.
So,
Go ahead.
overall, 5. Overall, I'm going to give it a 5, honestly. The build-up, I'm actually only going to give it like a 3. Because it wasn't like this, like the spicy build-up that what we are having as our rating thing.
Right.
It was more so of like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's not even build-up. It's just like, getting to that point where like things shift and it's just like oh my god.
Yeah.
And it's not because they didn't touch each other for like 300 pages.
Oh yeah.
So, but that's why I'm giving it a 5.
Fuck yeah. Overall 5. There's no doubt about that. Not one bit.
Mm-hmm.
Build up. You said we're going based off of spice build up?
I would say like, it could be anything a build up, but like for me, it wasn't even. I don't even want to put it in like bad sense of like thing, but because it was more so I was looking at the storyline in that part. I wasn't searching for the build up, like if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Build up for me, I probably would give it like a 3.5, close to a 4.
Yeah.
And I think you had a lot to do with that too. You had a lot to do with my build up. Spice, no doubt about it. That's a 5. Like the part. The part. Let me just pull it up here because I was just like, oh my fucking god. When he goes, fuck, this is not my plan. She goes, to fuck me before breakfast? He says, no, to come after 3 pumps inside you. And he goes, now turn around and grab the headboard so I can rail you properly. I was like, oh Lord! I was like, Jesus.
Jesus, take the wheel. Jesus, take
Jesus,
the wheel.
take the wheel.
Yes, it was good. Oh, it was so good. Oh,
I still can't pick. It's between him and Clay. They're so close. They're so fucking close.
They are. They definitely are in my like number 2 spot, I will say.
They're so freaking close and so hard.
Holden holds number 1 spot.
Holden is my number 2. Holden is my number 2.
I'm gonna have 2 number 2s.
I'm gonna have 2 number 1s.
That's nice.
Sounds about right.
Poor Zeke. He's so slept on though. I feel bad for the guy.
But like, I liked the book. I feel like I related
Love these more.
I feel like I related more in book 2 and in book 4.
Yeah, I get that. Get it. But yes, that is Hail Mary by Kandi Steiner herself. If you haven't read it yet, you are seriously missing out.
If you haven't read any Kandi Steiner book, you're seriously missing out.
Who are you? Okay. On that note, follow, like, subscribe, Love us because we love you. And go read the damn books, please.
Yeah, you said the
Bye.
weekend.